I'm agenda. Okay, so although in the agenda we'll be talking about all the things, we'll be talking that what is analytics rule, what are the workbooks, how incidents are generated, how to investigate it, learning a bit about the automation in the Sentinel as well, and then the conclusion part as well. A few of the concepts here are going to be related to the to giving someone the investigative idea. You need to give them the role, so how those things they work. So I'll be just giving you a bit of a brief onto those kind of the things over here. Okay, and if I remember very specifically, yesterday towards the end we were discussing about the KQL, right? Bit of the queries onto your KQL, that how those queries were written, how those queries can be carried out, right? So that was something that what we were saying, and I remember it very specifically. We were saying it. So let's just, without any further ado, rather than me giving you the theory, a lot of theory, what we will be doing, we will be starting our seminar with the introduction of Sentinel, and these things we have discussed yesterday, like what is a SIM, what is Azure Sentinel, when to use Azure Sentinel, and today we will be facing things like what are the data connectors, right? And this is going to be one of the very first thing that we are going to see for today, right? That what are the data connectors, because again, since yesterday we were seeing that how you can just go ahead and connect the VMs or some resources onto there. So you are not only going to collect the data from the VMs only, right? So there are going to be the multiple other options as well. So how to deal with them, and what are the data connectors and all. So we are going to discuss these kind of things today. Apart from the data connector, we will be seeing that what is log retention, and then workbooks. Okay, we will be seeing then the analytic alerts, okay, threat hunting, and we will be talking about the incident and investigations as well. Then in the end, we will be talking about the automation playbook, which will be giving you your capability of the automation in the Sentinel itself. So these things we are going to discuss, right? And before I start with the giving you the knowledge about this data connectors, so first of all, let's just go into the portal, right? And yesterday we were having I was showing you that how to connect your different VMs servers on the log analytic workspace. So if you guys be remembering this thing, so when we start doing these things yesterday, let me just remind you a few things, that there were few VMs that was running, right? And on those VM there was this VM1, there was this VM2. Now on the VM1 here, you can see that VM1 is also running, VM2 is also running, and then there was the VM3 as well, which was also running over here. Now these three VMs were running, and I'm sure when they are running, they are going to generate, I was collecting a lot of events from there, so they are going to collect a lot of different events in here. Okay, this is VM1, VM2 and VM3. So there is going to have a lot of events in the application data we were sending system data, informational as well. So when you are sending informational data as well, so a lot of different kind of data you are usually going to collect over there. Now we are collecting these data over here. Okay, this is the Sentinel part, and what I have done, I have added this Microsoft Sentinel to this same log analytic workspace. So if you will read the name here, log analytic workspace, log monitor, and this is the Sentinel with the same name, log monitor. And as these VMs, yesterday we connected them, right? So they are already sending the all the events over there. So you can see that they are collecting around here. There is already in this log analytic workspace, there is 39.3K of your events that is already happening over here, right? And even we haven't even talked about the data connector yet, because we are not very specifically looking for very specific things. Like yesterday, if you remember, I bring one thing into your notice, that if you want to go ahead and you want to get yourself very specific warnings, like you have to get the security related logs from the VM or any machine, you need to use the Sentinel, and in those cases we will be using this data connector itself, right? And I will be first trying to connect the data connector, okay, and then jumping into the theory so that it can start extracting those logs, and again we can just simply see that what is going on, right? Okay, because it is first time, it is going to take some time to get and collect those data. Once it start collecting, so this thing is almost going to be in the real time, okay? And just like yesterday, guys, just reminding you, the ground rules are same. I would be liking that if you guys will be on mute, that would be good. And towards the end, I will be giving you time. Go ahead and ask me the questions, and we will be discussing this whole thing, right? And today, I would like to keep this, just like yesterday, a short, crisp session on this one. Now, when we are talking about this, right, what is going to happen is, so this is the, I was just giving you the Sentinel view over here, and in the log monitor workspace, okay, so we were just yesterday, first of all, we have seen this agent configuration option, where we were seeing that what kind of logs we were forwarding from the different places. I was giving you the example of how to send the custom logs as well, right? There was the option to send the, for the agent management, where I was telling you that how to install the agents on your on-premise machines. Those options we have seen. Towards the end, we were dealing with this log section. Okay, if you have to watch the video, if you will be getting the video, you want to go and learn more about the log analytics, you can click on this link. It will be taking you to the docs.microsoft.com, where will be your log analytics tutorials running, right? So, even, let me just, not this one, not close from here, close this from here, and then some sample Kutsu query based your queries will be here. Okay, now let me just close this one. Okay, now this was our query editor. So if you remember yesterday, some queries that we have run, and you can see those queries are written over here as well, like which we were running. So you can see that again, same thing is here, and for each query, actually, like this one here, you can go ahead. Okay, if I load that query one more time, it will be just going ahead and collecting the data from the last 24 hours, and even you can create a alert rule on that. Let's say that you want to alert someone, you can create a rule. Okay, so that kind of thing is also here. So I will be coming to these alert rule if someone is interested in seeing them. Okay, so we'll be seeing this thing, but for today, first thing, like I have promised you, the first thing today what we are going to see is going to be about your data connector, because through this agent configuration we were actually collecting some of your logs here. Right now, I want very specific security related logs, and what kind of more logs I can get, because up to now we have only seen the VMs, right? And even from those VMs, you are not getting the all kind of your logs. So to collect the logs in Sentinel, like we were doing manually and we were connecting the VM, okay, those are some direct options, those were there. Now what we can also do is we can add some different services, such as let's say that what kind of logs first, you think like what kind of logs you want to collect, right? What kind of the logs you want to ingest into this Sentinel, ingesting the log, right? First task is that collect, which you can simply say collect, right? So there will be the 4 pillars that is going to run there. So that is again going to be collect, okay, detect, investigate, and respond, right? So if we will talk about these 4 are going to be the 4 main pillar or the task with the help of your Azure Sentinel. This is what you want to do. You want to collect logs, detect if something is going on in the as real time as possible, investigate, and then respond to that particular threat that you are facing right now. In here, what we will be doing, what kind of logs you will be collecting. Let's say that you have one Azure account. You want to collect all the Azure activity logs. Okay, you want to know that when someone logs in into their Azure account, okay, when someone is just going ahead and let's say launching any resource, any service, you want to get notified, like for any admin task. You want to see that if someone try to access a particular page or file which they shouldn't be, so again, you will be having that, you want to collect first logs. Then you can investigate those logs and detect in those logs if something suspicious is happening. But first you need to ingest all that data. So there will be most of the time you'll be seeing data like they are saying just by a button. Although for few things, Microsoft over the time has changed the few how you are going to implement it, policies, those kind of things. So what is generally going to happen is means even it is going to be a single, not just a button click, but yes, you have to click 2 or 3 buttons, apply 2 or 3 things, and then you start collecting your data, injustice, your data. So that could be sometimes the case, not always a single click, but yes, many of the services will be like that. With a single click, you can start collecting the data. Okay, then there are things like the syslog, which will be requiring bit of the collection. Like, you will be collecting the data from the syslogs in the syslog format into a Linux server, which will be ingesting all that data for you and then send it to the Azure. Now, this thing you can do or perform in 2 places. Either this Linux server you can create in your on-premise, collect all the syslog data and directly send it to the Azure, or you can create a VM of Linux in there and connect all of them. If anyone who is familiar with the syslogs, you will be familiar. Usually what we do, we use the UDP port number 514 to send the data. So that what you will be doing, you will be sending all that syslog data to this Linux machine which you are hosting in the VM, and then it will be sending all that data away. Your Sentinel will be collecting all the data from here then, right? So that kind of the implementation we can perform for the collecting the syslog, right? Then there are going to be different data connectors which can connect you to different data source. I think this I was discussing with the yesterday as well with the very specific. I think Manish was discussing this thing with me, right? That if if we start to have these many of the, like I was explaining, that there is 120 around your data connector. So from the different services, so you will be seeing that there are the options to collect the data from your F5, firewall, from your F5, from Barracuda, from Palo Alto. The different options are there. Even you can collect data from Microsoft 365 Defender. Different options are available for different user, what kind of environment, work, machines, or your appliances you are having, from where you want to collect, right? So you will be collecting the data in the format of like syslog, right? You will be talking about the CEF. Okay, so for threat intelligence, if you guys are familiar with things like the TAXII is your kind of a protocol which helps you to exchange your threat intelligence. So it work with the TAXII, okay, and it will be collecting your all the logs, or we already know, because it is Azure based SIM tool, so it will be collecting from Azure and the AWS obviously, right? So this is going to be there on that particular node, right? So if you will see that figure looks something like this, and the screenshot that I am using, it would be like if you will just notice the 56 connector here. If you will be looking for some older video, you will be seeing that there is around some video I have seen 36 connectors they are using. Somewhere they are around 20 itself. So this is the one of the best thing that I found about the Microsoft, that they keep updating their set. They are not stuck with the one scenario, one case over here. So if we come back here, and yesterday I have shown you how to create the Sentinel, right? So if at any point you have to add, like I have one more log analytic workspace here. So if I want, I can just click on this, create, and I can select that particular log analytic workspace, and it will be deploying a Sentinel service on a top of a log analytic service over here. Right. So this is, how these Sentinel services are working. So we'll be going on to the Sentinel service. So here you can see, right, I'm having 39.6k of the event already. And why it is happening? Because I'm having this VM which was running overnight, and now they are having a lot of the events to handle, right? Okay, so events are good unless there is no alerts or incident. I will be a bit relaxed that nothing is happening over here. Now, as we are talking about, you can see the different option here: incident, workbook, hunting, notebooks, right? So we'll be jumping into the data connectors part. In the data connector part, we will be simply just gonna go and start with the different connectors that are there. Like, so you can see AWS, right? You want to connect it directly to the AWS. You want to connect it to the AWS's S3 service, which is this, kind of their storage account. If you want to connect to that one, right? So this will be there. So, you will be having the option. I'll be showing you that how these things could be, you can be doing. Here, option is this, open a connector page. So you need to open that connector page, which will be containing all your direction that how you are going to connect to the particular service. They'll be telling you very specifically. There is AWS service S3. So how to connect to it? Data type it can accept. Okay, it will be accepting your AWS GuardDuty, VPC Flow, CloudTrail. There is, if you want to connect to the Apache server, Apache Tomcat. There is, and now you can notice this is around 120. So in the screenshot I was showing you that it is around the 56. So they keep updating. So you will be seeing, if you want to connect your own Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, so there is the option for that as well. What kind of the logs you will be wanting from their sign-in logs, audit logs, all those kind of things. Oops. Let's come back from here. Okay, and here we'll be going with the, if you want to collect the data logs regarding that identity protection, there is a feature, and this Azure Active Directory Identity Protection, it is available for premium P2 tier. If you have the license of premium P2, then you can apply this particular identity protection feature. Okay, then there is your Azure activities, which we were talking about, that all those sign-in logs and everything, those you want to connect or not. So we will be coming over here and we will be seeing that how to connect this one, right? There is Azure DDoS protection service. You want to connect any Azure firewall. You will see that all of Azure services, coming one after another, right? Then Barracuda, if you are using the Barracuda, your CloudGen firewall, web applications, better mobile threat defense, right? Beyond security, BlackBerry, Checkpoint, Cisco Firepower, okay, Cisco UCS, Cisco Umbrella, Citrix Analysis. So all of these are there, these options that you are having, right? Cogni. And if you want the CF format from anywhere, so you can select this option as well. Those CF formats you can connect here as well. Then CyberArk, password vaults, DNS related, Microsoft DNS related, your logs you want, right? There are other options, extra hop, F5, right? So I was just talking about that these are the connectors. So whenever you will be clicking on any connector, there will be this open connector page, which will be giving you the instruction that how we are gonna go ahead and start collecting the logs. Okay, so that is going to be there. Now, what we are going to do is, okay, let me just go to the very beginning, right? So as I was saying, that there are different kind of the connectors that is there. So you can always start with the things, that you are using, like you want to collect the logs, or you want to get insight into the AWS services, right? You want to get insight into the AWS S3 service, Apache Tomcat server, Aruba's ClearPass, right? Okay. So you want connection or collection of the logs so that you can get better insight over there, you can use that. Now, like we have the Azure Active Directory, you want to connect Azure Active Directory and collect the things like the sign-in logs, audit logs, right? You want to see the different kind of the logs that what is happening. You want to identify any unknown logins that is in there. So you will be using the things, or you will be using these kind of the connector. And if you click on this open connector page, it will be explaining how to go ahead and collect the different things. And today we will be collecting things like this Azure Activity, right? So, okay, first let me just show you this Azure Activity connector, that how it will be working. Then we will be discussing the other options here, right? Like this Azure Activity, you want to go ahead and collect these Azure Activity. So there will be the option of open this connector page, right? So this will be some prerequisite to ingest or integrate the Azure activities. Make sure that you have read-write permission on the workspace itself, and policy owner role assigned to each policy assignment scope, and owner role permission at the subscription level. If you have any of these options, you can go ahead and start working with that. Okay, so if you are, because they have changed actually few things over here, like to apply this or to collect the log from the Azure activity, nowadays you have to actually launch a particular policy assignment. So this will be a whole different scenario, right? So if you launch this one, then you have to go ahead and apply a whole policy on your whole subscription. That's why these rules were required for you. Okay, and they are asking that if your subscription is listed below, and you are getting the option to if your subscription already connected to other workspace which is using the legacy method to collect the logs from here, so it is just giving you the option to disconnect all, right? And yesterday, if you remember, I told you that not all kind of the logs you will be getting from here. Like those machines were only sending you the things. Okay, those were the only VM which was sending you the data. And today I want to connect more things. This is just the Azure activity, what is happening in the portal. If someone is initiating or creating a VM, deleting a VM, so not only VM we are focused to, we are focused on all the activity, your cloud architecture, on-premise machines, your different appliances. So like if you will be going ahead, you will be seeing things like the Barracuda CloudGen firewall, web application firewalls, F5s, Broadcom, Cisco ASA, Cisco Firepower, Cisco UCS. You want to collect the logs, want to get inside over there. So that's why yesterday we were focusing on a very narrow thing. So today we have broaden our way from where we are collecting these things, right? So any CF format you want to collect, okay, DNS preview, DNS data from the Microsoft DNS, right? Dynamic 365, O365 you can add, F5 networks, force points, CASB, CSG, force point DLP, right? Forge node. If even you have, connect that G Suite as well, right? Different webs are there. Juniper SRX is here. Your Microsoft 365 Defender option is there, that you want to collect the logs from there. Okay, Microsoft Defender for cloud, Insider Risk Management, right? Defender Cloud App, different Microsoft Defender for endpoints, right? Just like we have in the Microsoft Defender for cloud, we have this is the cloud apps, and we are having the cloud. That was which previously known as your Microsoft Security Center or Azure Security Center. Okay, now what we will be doing is we will be seeing few more options. Okay, now these are the Microsoft Defender for Office 365 as well. As you can see that these are the different options that you are getting over here, and you should be aware about them, right? So you can check whether what kind of what we can simply say, what kind of your appliances architecture that you are using in your on-prem, and are the direct connector available in here or not. Okay, so I'm not going to be biased toward the Sentinel. I will be saying just go ahead, check whether it is fulfilling your requirement or not, right? If you are collecting the syslog, there is a way to collect the syslogs as well, so don't worry about it. Okay, if you want to collect the logs from the yesterday I was showing you that from the Nginx HTTP server, how we can collect the logs or from that machine directly. So here we have the some security logs you want. You can get this connected directly. Okay, so still, and many times you will be seeing this preview feature. Means you can understand like they have been recently added and Microsoft is testing them out. Okay, so these all are in the NX-Log DSM. They are in the preview right now. Office 365. Okay, on PICE, One Identity, Orca, Palo Alto Network, Pulse, Qualys, right? Salesforce, Sentinel One. Okay, security event via the legacy agent. Okay, now they have added one more thing, like you want to extract the security event and added via the legacy agents. Yes, we can, and I think we should be doing this thing. We can go to the simply open connector page and simply, it will be asking you that you have these prerequisites, yes or no. Then talking about the configuration, that how your logs are collected from the Windows agents and all those kind of things. It will be asking to download the agents on the virtual machines. Okay, in the non-Azure machine, what you need to do, how you download and install the machines, giving you all kinds. Now, if you want to collect those security events yesterday, which I was showing you, so here you will have option what kind of the security event you want to access, like minimal one, common one, or all event. So I'll be saying that okay, start extracting all events over there. Yeah, there I can go and click on apply changes. Right, so like this you can go here, and once I click on apply changes, because I'm already fulfilling these prerequisite points like read and write permission required, on the workspace and data workspace. That is something that we should be allowing, and we should be going ahead and doing things like this. Okay, so this is going to be the one of the things that you should be aware, and you should be giving the idea that how these things should be running. Okay, now there will be lot of analytic rule related to that, workbook queries related to your security events, which we will be coming to the bit later. That's what is happening. But this is how you'll be going ahead and collecting your more data or getting more insight into your systems, like Sentinel-1, SonarQual, Sophos, Squid Proxy, semantic, different solutions. You want to collect the syslog as well from the Microsoft, so you can have this one as well. Collect the syslogs from here. Now, one of the things, maybe you are interested in getting the TAXII, through the TAXII, getting the threat intelligence. So you can just simply go to the connector page, and this is your read and write permission that you require. You require a TAXII 2.0, TAXII 2.1 server URI and collection ID are required. So what is the name for the server? If you API root URL ID, then giving the username here, password here, which kind of the indicator you want to collect. So you'll be giving that, and polling frequency, in once in an hour, go ahead and collect those threat intelligence there, right? And then here you'll be seeing list of all configured TAXII servers over here. Okay, and again remember it support your TAXII 2.0 and 2.1 servers, right? So if you are having the TAXII 2.0, 2.1 server, or maybe you have some third parties TAXII servers access, you want to give them, so you'll be providing a full URL over here and getting those data if you want that threat intelligence to collect, right? And again, a new feature that is still in testing, that is threat intelligence platforms. If you want to connect to them, you can go ahead and you have all the permission, register the using the threat intelligence, different such as Threat Connect, Palo Alto Network, Mindlab, Mist, and other. You want to connect there, you can connect there. So you have to register the application in the Azure AD, configure the permissions there on the AD, ask the permission, give consent, and simply start following the steps, and then you would need to go ahead and click on connect button, and it will be connecting you to the different threat intelligence platform over there. Okay, right? apart from that, VMware, Trend Micro is also option here. So these kind of the different resources are here which you can certainly use, right? And yes, based on it, go ahead, explore, and then let us decide that whether the Sentinel is the one for you or not. So that will be again your decision to take, right? So we have connected, I think, only the security one. And if you want to connect, if I want to connect my Active Directory here as well, getting the options like sign-in logs, audit logs, I can open simply the connector page. I have all these permissions, so I can select like give me the sign-in logs, give me the audit logs as well. I'm happy with them, and click on just apply changes, and it will be connected and start extracting those kind of the logs from there very easily, right? So that is something that is going to be there. Okay, so I can see it is also a success. It is collected, and now when the first time they will start connecting these things, they are going to take some times. It will be taking some time over there, that what is happening, how things are happening, and if there will be any incident, they will be coming under this incident section, so which we will be seeing, right? And in the overview, events, there are a lot of events. And if you remember, I was saying that we are going to find the events. Why? Because we were collecting the logs from yesterday, and those machines will keep running throughout. So since yesterday they were running, lot of event, application event, your system events were happening, all kind of the events I'm collecting, like even informational level as well, right? So that's why there are a heap of the alerts. So this is 30, you can see performance counters are, most are the performance counter, then the heartbeats. Event is 1.4K and others are 389. So you can see the division between the different kind of the your logs, you can say, or different kind of the logs you are collecting over here. So this is just a bit of an overview that what we were having. Like if we again go back to this log analytic workspace where you are, this Sentinel service is running on a top of this log analytic workspace, and that Sentinel is not only the place from where you can create the alerts. So as I was telling you, from the logs as well, you can go ahead and collect the log, collect the your particular, so collect the create the alert as well, right? Like let's say that I want to go with the, I was collecting some of the memory related your performance counter, and I want to check whenever my machines are having the less than 6 GB of RAM. Okay, for example. So for that, what I will be doing, I will be running one of the your queries where I will be running it. There is the performance table. In performance table, I'm saying that counter name is available megabytes and convert it to the integer value, and if the RAM available megabyte is less than 6000, so let's see that whether there were any event related to this thing. So if you will run this one, so you are going to find that yes, there are actually your some events related in last 24 hours, mostly around 608 instance. And yeah, knowing this is happening, okay, because I have only given around I think 8 gigs, so automatically I'm assuming that most of the time it is going to run below that 6000 mark. But yes, for scenarios like this, I can do one thing is I can always create an alert rule, right? Sending alert to the someone. So that is something that you can do, and it is going to cost you a bit on the monthly basis as well. This query only, right? You have to define its condition, like what you want with it. So you can define the alert, although this is a whole completely different thing, but I'm just letting you know that options are available on all around basis, right? And that particular $1.50 charge per month for running a single query. And that brings me to one thing. I think I didn't show you one settings in the Microsoft Sentinel. If you go to the settings page, and if you go to this, this is the pricing option. So you can read it here, which I was explaining to you guys yesterday, that Microsoft Sentinel is built based on the volume of data ingested for analysis in Microsoft Sentinel. So Microsoft Sentinel offers a flexible and predictable price model. There are two ways to pay for the Microsoft Sentinel. One is the commitment tier, where you will be seeing that, okay, this is, we are going to go for 3 years, 5-year commitment. And one is the pay as you, okay. Now, there are the different models tier that you will be using, okay. And this does not include the Azure Log Analytic price for ingesting the data. This is not dealing with that, this Log Analytic workspace service. This is just the service of the Sentinel. So if Sentinel has to deal with the 100 gigs of data per day, okay, and if your commitment, so for the commitment here, you will be getting the 50% discount. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with the how clouds work, so they have the commitment tier, pay as you go tier. So commitment tier gives you a fixed predictable fee with the 50% discount over per GB pricing. Right. So if you are having, first of all, you should be the team that is going to define this thing. You should be familiar with how much data per day you usually ingest. Okay. And I have seen in the big organization, this data goes, very large as well. Right. In the big MNCs, this go around, sometimes 300, 500 gigs per day as well. So, what is your architecture size? You should be aware of this thing. And here. Okay, so it will be talking about the flexibility that you can have, and apply this charge, apply this with this one, which one you want to go with. There are different options that is there. Now, one more thing that you need to keep in mind, that by default it will be in keeping your ingested log for the 31 days. If you want more than that, I think maximum duration, maximum delivery here is you need to raise a support here, and you need to increase this date log retention time. That will be 730 days maximum. Right? So this is going to be the maximum time for which you can retain the logs. So this is the one thing over here. In some specific case scenario, again, if you'll be keeping the log for these long, you have to pay a bit extra. Not bit, a lot of extra there. If let's say that 100 gigs of data per day you are getting, and you are having the policy that you will be keeping that data even for 30 days, that is going to cost you more, right? If you are going to keep that data for, let's say, a year as well, that is actually going to cost you too much, right? So this is the bit about the pricing. You can click on here, you can read this thing. Okay, you can increase your workspace data retention to 90 days for free, right? Because I'm the Sentinel customer, they are writing it here, so I can, add that. Okay, and the price for the log analytic ingesting the data, that is going to be different. Okay, and how it works in the log analytic workspace is the data that you are collecting from the different region, that would be costing you more. If you are collecting the same region where you have deployed the data, your log analytic workspace, it will be costing you less, right? So that is also going to be there, which you should be actually keeping it in mind that this is happening, right? And right now we are going with the pay as you go tier, right? So it is just charging me based on that Sentinel service that we are processing. Based on that, I am going to be charged. And yep, as I reminded of that, I think after today's session, I need to go ahead and remove all this thing from here. Right. So this is one thing that what we are going to do. We are going to have this data. We are going to process it. Okay. So here you can do the charges, retention beyond 90 days, and all that kind of things we will be dealing with. Right. So let the Sentinel go ahead and ingest the data from those active directory as well. So if I will be looking into my connectors, let me see how many connectors are connected by now. Okay. It is just showing me one connected. Okay, status. Let's see only the connected one. So which one is connected? Okay, security event via the legacy agent. So this one is connected. The second one, it is still didn't connect yet. So that was also success, but let's see. Okay, so it will start sending the data. First time they will be taking a bit of the time over here. Now, once you start collecting the data, connectors start working. Then, log retentions, we were talking about that, okay. During the making of this slide, I have made a bit of the mistake, but when we talk about the log retention, you can keep log in your log analytic workspace, right? You will be ingesting the data. It will be stored by the log analytic workspace, which we have seen already, right? First thing which we were saying, it was this yesterday, and we will be using your KQL, like I was showing you just now. We will be using the KQL. Go ahead and query the data that we are having, and KQL is the query language data which will be giving you power to dive into the more and get the more insight on that particular data itself. So we are going to have the KQL as well, which will be helping us out into doing this kind of the things as well. So this thing we have seen already yesterday, so we'll be moving forward now. Now, the workbooks. So if I want to explain the workbook in simple language, okay, this is a kind of a screenshot that is there. Now, when you are collecting the logs, not everyone is going to understand all the things pretty quickly. Like, the table that we were seeing, I'm running some query and all that kind of thing. It could be sometimes bit overwhelming, very specifically when you are collecting the different kind of log, how you are going to understand it. So the, log workbooks, what they will do, they will give you the better insight. They will be giving you the different graphs, chart, events, what is happening. Like, if let's just say that I want to sign in logs. So what they will be doing, they will be giving you the option. Okay, in the sign in logs, go ahead and there will be the options like how many times someone tried to log in, right? From which account, which username they were using. Like they were using this demo user one, which is my favorite username, right? So, or they are using the things like the admin, or, they were using the admin 1, admin 2, admin 3. They are using the user as the user or user 1. So how many failed attempt, pass attempt was there, by which username, right? How many, successful connection, how many logins were initiated by the different services. Even your service accounts in the, as a daemon which is running, they can be having sometime the want to access or do this some login for performing some tasks. So all that thing, all those options, more visualization will be provided to you by the workbook. If you can have some time, you can create your own workbook, which can have for more insightful. It can have some link which will be redirecting you to somewhere like, go ahead and read this thing or, perform these things. That thing could be there, right? So this can helping you out in a lot of the different scenarios over here. And theoretically, you use workbook to visualize your data within the Azure Sentinel. As I was saying, visualize more, seeing more thing in that data that you have collected, getting more insight over there, right? Okay, think of workbook as the kind of the dashboard kind of thing, right? So each of these component in the dashboard is going to be built by the using the underlying KQL query for your data, and you can use the built-in workbook for Azure Sentinel, edit them to meet your own needs, create the different from your own workbook. You can create your workbooks from pretty scratch as well. Okay, a quick look in this boot camp. So okay, so we are using this security event logs one, right? Let's hope, I know for now maybe there is no data, right? But I'm just hoping for the best here. Okay, last log it has received 2 minutes ago. So yeah, start getting few things. So you can see that it's already having around 9 related workbooks. Okay, so here in the next step as well, you can go and you can see some of the recommended workbooks. Okay, and these are those 9 workbooks that it is just suggesting you, like talking about the insecure protocols. Okay, so Windows firewall, the name event in an analyzer, what is happening, investigate insights, SolarWind. Okay, zero trust, cyberbook. Okay, so which can give us the better insight over here is not the identity access. Yeah, let's say that you want to just check about the insecure protocols that's being used, right? So it requires some type of data like security event signing logs, these kind of data. So if you click on the view template, it will be selecting your subscription, workspace, okay, time range, okay, workspace. Let's select this one, and okay. So there is no insecure protocol that was used in last 7 days in the machines. That's why I'm not getting anything. If that was there, it would be giving me some better insight like graphs, chart, these kind of things over here, like table, column, these kind of things it would have shown me. So we can use the different things, like let's check with the identity and access management if we can find something. We are having some predefined templates. Okay, like these kind of things you can see over here, right? Whole of thing, but top 10 activity that was happening, like an account failed to log in, an operation was performed by object, log your ID name 5379 4624, an account was successfully logged in, and a special privilege assigned to new logon, a scheduled task was updated, a scheduled task was deleted. That kind of thing is happening. In the VMs, you can see things like this. In the VM1, these operations, these kind of the operation we are looking. In the second one as well, looking for such kind of things. And these are just the event. No incident has been generated over here. Just the events that is happening. So there is our administrator account which try to, okay. So some of the services need to run with the privilege of the administrator. Okay. Predefined. So they will be running with like 249 in the background, right? 249 activities are happening in the background, and there are many times they were failed. So that is something that is there, and you can see who tried to log in where and all that details graphs over here, and all these your admin VM and full details, what failed, what passed, what kind of logs you are generating, all these kind of scenario you will be looking forward, right? To be honest with you, so you are seeing the things like this in your workbooks very easily, right? So this is one thing. Okay, this was about the workbooks that you are having. You can create your own, you can have this thing, you can create the workbook on the basis of the queries, right? So how they are getting those data, they are generating those views, they are running some query on the background in your database and generating those particular things over there, right? And this is the relevant analytics templates that is here. So some of the templates, rule templates that is here. Okay, we'll be coming to those and I'll be showing you those things. Not from the workbook. With the help of rules, you can create few things on your workbook, like I was showing you, right? So how they are gathering that knowledge, some queries running in the background, right? Like for the failed login attempts, and then they are displaying you things. Then analytics alert. So we can enable the built-in analytics alert in the Sentinel workspace. And there are different type of alerts, some of which you can edit according to your own need. Other alerts are built on machine learning model and they are proprietary to Microsoft, and you can start from the very scratch as well. Okay, so the rule templates that I was showing you, so those are some pre-built in there, and you can use them according to your need as well. If you want to edit them, you have knowledge of the KQL, you can deal around, play around with them as well. Right. So let me just show you simple thing. Like these are the those analytic template rules that we are talking about. Here, you'll be seeing things like this. So this is what we have. Having these things, right? These are the different your scheduled rules that you have. What is their severity? And if you will be opening any one of them, right? So from here, okay, I'm not directly selecting it from here. Let me just go to the Sentinel, and you can see those rules under this analytics option. Okay, with this analytics option, you can see that right now it is telling me some active rules are here already running, right? So these are the some active rules. There are some rule templates that are there, and you can select them and edit them according to your need. So if anything interesting, okay, anomalous Azure AD sign-in scenarios, if I want to, this is again in preview, and description and everything will be here, but you will be mapping it with tactics of initial access. You can click on edit and you will be having much more rules here. So this is the analytics rule name, ID of this, description of it, what kind of tactics it is. I can't change this one because this is written from the Microsoft experts, and which mode you want. You want it in the protection or in the fighting mode, right? So again, let me just show you here. So this is the for the detection of the anomalies, okay? And there are, in this one you can see it is mapping one thing. Then there could be the things like the fusion rules as well, which is looking for all inbuilt. So this is whole MI and machine learning thing, which will be looking for the all different kind of the scenario, looking for the 365 defender, work with the cloud app security, endpoint, the Office 365. Again, developed by the Microsoft to check, to run some basic inspection during any time. And you can use the filter to look like, what kind of the things you are looking, or you can search things directly here, like persistence base, authentication method change, someone has changed the authentication, and here you will see that this is their KQL query. Okay, so if you will be going ahead and try to create a rule, okay, now based on that particular rule you are creating this whole thing, okay, name, severity level, what tactics it is, you can map more than one. Yes, so I was saying that you can go ahead and you can map one kind of rule into the more than one as well. So you can say that it was following the other, it was falling in the other category as well. But to define that, you need to go to the set rule logic. You will be going here. You will be just simply gonna go ahead and check this one out. Let's say that I want to add anything here. I need to understand. Let VIP user identity information I'm getting. So somebody by enrolling it by the UPNs. Comparing these things, that what is happening, I can edit it according to my need as well. Okay, like it is telling me this somewhere is the error, like where one is just giving us the error. Okay, I think I have just added something over here. So where operator failed to resolve the table of communication, that kind of thing is going to happen. You can view the query result as well. You can start mapping these things onto the different scenarios, right? That if this is happening, what need to be done. Okay, incident response, that do you want, what kind of incident setting you want, do you want to group the alerts, right? Okay, one of the thing, the guys who are working the SOC, we can totally understand. Let's say that some kind of scan is going on, we are getting the alert for that or anything. So if for each port I keep getting the alert in this scan, it would be a pretty annoying thing for me as well, right? So what we can do is we can try to group the alert, like similar kind of the alert if they are in the pretty frequency, in the same IP address they are running it, and it is happening in the pretty close vicinity, right? So you can group the same kind of alert. So alert generated by this rule, is going to be within the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour. They are going to be grouped as if a single alert itself. So that kind of the options also you are having over here. Okay, now you can even define the automated response regarding this one if it is getting triggered. Okay, to create the automation response, you will be seeing that it is asking me to incident automation. So it is asking me to add new. Right? I will be requiring to create a particular logic app here, right? So this is the same thing that happened, and this is the new feature, which is incident automation. So for any incident, you can create automation like triggering it when you need to trigger it, define the conditions, add multiple condition over here, right? If this happens, then what you want to do, what kind of action you want to take. Do you want to, run a playbook, change the particular status? You can select that I want to create a run book. You need to then select the run book. Okay, what will be those, playbooks, right? So what will be those playbooks? Again, they are going to be your logic app. That is a separate resource in your Microsoft Azure, right? So you have to create that. Okay, that is a particular separate resource for the automation part. Okay, so I think I jumped on the automation bit early, but yes, there is the rule. Like if you are running one rule, based on that you can create the automation response that you need to do, and in the end you will have to simply review and create. Like one of the very simple, which I'm going to talk about in my Sentinel course as well. One of my favorite template rule is based on the okay, so I will be looking for, actually we are connecting the security, right? So we require something like the log. Okay. Okay, sometime kind of stuff. Let me just go ahead. Let me just come back. Okay, right. So here, things like Exchange audit log is disabled. Someone is disabling the Exchange office log in the Office 365, you can see. Okay, for these Palo Alto network, different data source, different option. So we are collecting the security event for now. For security event related one, if my data source is security event, okay, and someone is clearing those security log, so I can create a rule on a basis of this one. And when I will be creating the rule, then only I am going to have those incidents in my Sentinel info place, right? So in the Sentinel, I am going to have those incidents only when someone will be doing the same thing, right? Then I will be getting or generating the alert over here, and then I will be seeing those things in this incident option. Right now, you can see completely zero alert, zero incident, right? So I'm going to show you this one. So again, if you'll be in my session, again, you'll be feeling this is kind of repetitive. So I'm just keeping this thing as it is. It is going to map onto the defense evasion. I'm enabling this thing, setting up the rule logic, same as it is, mapping it into the different entities. So can I have a proper graph that, if this alert is triggered, which account was affected, which host is affected, do you want to add some new entities like any IP address related to that or DNS file hash related to that. You want to map it, that incident to that one, you can map these things if you want. So I'm just going to leave this one. I'm not going to do this thing, right? I'm just going with the default thing. You can add custom detail, alert details as well, alert format, some custom details over there, right? So when to run this query, once in a day, or look up the data from past one day. I'm happy with that. Or run this query in one in a day. I'm happy with that. You want to run it in the every 1 minute or 1 hour in one day. That will be just up to you, right? So you can schedule the query like for 1 minute for now. Between the, it should be between the 5 minutes to the 14 days. So I'm going with the minimum. So it will be running in each 5 minutes so that we can get the alert pretty quickly. And if alert threshold is greater than 1 or even 0, right? Even if there is a one thing. Now, group all event into the single alert, and if you want to suppress it anytime, you have those options as well. So incident review and everything, I'm just going to keep as it is. Automated response, no automated response, and review and create will be doing, right? So I'm just going with all the default setting. I'm not changing anything, nothing else in here, and click on the review one more time, and gonna create this one. Okay, it will be creating this rule, triggering this rule over here. Now, in the VM2, if you want to go ahead and trigger this thing, let's say that you want to trigger this thing, right? So as a part, as I was saying, if you want to trigger this thing, you can do those particular options, deal with them in here. You can just like yesterday, we were going ahead and connecting to this one again. Okay, local session manager is opening and we can try to have these kind of things over there. Right, either you can connect to the VM1, VM2, okay, and try to generate one incident over here. And I think I haven't changed the time range over here, so it will be still looking for the last 1 day of data. Means it looks like I need to go ahead and I need to delete that rule once the session is over. So we can go to the event viewer. So hopefully this rule will be taking effect over here. Okay, analytics rule has been saved and that will be part here. You can see it here. And now we are going to clear the logs. You can clear. I'm not going to save it, so security log, just clear log. Okay, and it is successful and my event ID is 1102. All the details are in here and that's it. I'm going to minimize it and in few minutes you will be seeing that there is going to be an incident generated. Right, now in here in the incidents, this was the analytics alert part. Then there is the part for the threat hunting. So if as a SOC analyst, you need to hunt any suspicious activity, right? And what you can do, you want some pre-built hunting queries that you want to use. There are some pre-built as well. You can create your own queries. Like if you are familiar with the KQL, you will be seeing that you can do anything, right? You want to create your own queries, you are welcome. You can go ahead and run those things. And Sentinel can also integrate the different Azure notebook. So it is for those advanced hunter who want to use the full power of the programming language to hunt through the idea itself. So that is also going to be the option over there. Okay, so we'll be seeing that those notebooks as well. So if I will show you, like, you want to use the Juniper one. This is the hunting option, right? So, you want to check, there are around 196 queries, out of which 140 has been loaded. And if you want to go with the predefined your queries, this is here. Now mapping it to the MITRE. So with the MITRE's tactics, if you're just looking, if you want to look for the reconnaissance based one, right? So connection from the external IP to OMI release port, if you want looking for that one, reconnaissance, get geo for this one, right? So this is something that what you can do, how you can define the query based on the tactics, right? So which is for which one? So you can see here one for this one, 33 for initial access, 26 for the execution. So that kind of queries you can run in here. Okay, hunt, and this hunting option will be giving the option to live or do the streaming, or we can say analyze the live data that is going on, right? If it is triggering anything or not. Then there is going to be the notebooks as well. Like you want to run the Jupyter notebook, which allow to supercharge your threat hunting, investigate by individual, and document that contain the live code, visualization, narrative, text. Everything is going to be there, right? And different visualization, investigative guides, supercharge threat hunting, what you need to do, how you need to do. Go ahead and start notebooks with your Azure machine learning, right? You can set up that. So this is going to be bit on the advanced level. Working with these kind of thing already in there. So if you want to go ahead and do this kind of thing, you should be familiar with these kind of things. So first of all, you need to create whole Jupyter first of all, you'll be setting the Azure machine learning workspace. Then you'll be starting with this Jupyter notebook. Then you will be going ahead and it will start learning you will be providing the testing data to it, training that particular notebook, that what is should be happening, how these things should be happening. This will be a whole different area that you'll be working, right? So this is not going to be for the beginners. This will be something that would be a bit different with the machine learning, applying the machine learning into that and all that kind of things, right? So there is going to be the hunting where you can create your query, test them out with the live data, and get yourself aware that what is going to happen in there. And we will be hopeful that soon there will be maybe some of the incident that may generate over there, right? So again, this will be depending on query. I think I haven't changed the time date or that kind of things. I have to, when I created that query, rule template, first of all, analytics query, these are the rule template. So you have to very specifically define that what should be the time period. So rule period is last 1 day, running the query in every 5 minutes, and within the 1 day, if there is any kind of the log data that has been received suspiciously, that will be there. Now you can check its connector as well when it last received any kind of the data. So still we are connected with the one connector. That's quite strange. I was trying to connect the 2 connector at least, but it looked like it haven't connected yet, or maybe I need to refresh the page. Okay, still the one, right? And actually I was hoping for one incident to generate, right? So that I can take you to this incident part where you will be seeing there what you have to do. Just like any other regular sim tool, you will have option to tell that whether it is open, it is closed, it is being under investigation. You can assign it to someone else as well. Okay, you can assign it to your different user as well for investigation. Give someone else it to, or assign it to someone else, so that you can keep the track of this, assign to the other users. And then again, when you'll be assigning it, then there come few of the basics of your Azure which will be coming in handy for you, like your role-based access control. It means role-based access control, and if you guys are familiar with the identity and access. Okay, so how to apply or give someone or create identity for users, like in your organization, not you, multiple different users are going to use it, right? The different analysts. Now you need to provide them the role, right? So that it, and very specific places. Again, we don't want to have those scope creep or anything. So what we want is give someone only the necessary permission. So give them the permission so that they can go ahead and investigate. So I can assign it, mark it the status like open, close, false positive, false negative, what it was. And while you are investigating this incident, actually there is whole map that is created for you. Like, refresh this page. Still no incident in here, right? So okay, if I take you to threat hunting, so this was the, again, page is going to look similar like I was showing you. Incident and investigation. So when incident is created, when an alert that you have enabled is triggered, so then there will be an incident that will be created. Now, in Azure Sentinel, you can do standard, incident management tasks like changing status or assigning incident to the individual for the investigation, like I was telling you. Azure Sentinel also investigate functionality so that you can visually investigate the incident by the mapping entity across the log data. So if you remember, when I was creating that particular rule, at that time I was trying to do what? Okay, in this one part, what we were trying to have is, we were trying to go ahead and there was the option of going ahead and applying this one, right? Applying this single to the, okay, this is here, mapping it to the entity, map it to the account, it will be picking up their name, their custom identity, right, host, and all these kind of things it will be picking up over there, right, what kind of host it is, when you are scheduling the queries, these kind of things are going to be there, right, you can suppress the things and all that kind of scenario will be all over running around at the different times, right. So this will be the query. You will be mapping it. When you have the account host, maybe you are having some IP addresses and all those things. So you will be getting the chart like this, right? Like, and if there are multiple alerts that has been triggered, so it will be giving you the whole UI that, that graph that, right? So this will be, like here, it is telling you that anonymous login was there, right? Then that user try to get this user and get access to this machine. Now, in those machines, some suspicious activity, or for this account itself, some suspicious activity was detected, right? That kind of thing will be happening. So you will be getting the anomalous login, suspicious PowerShell activity that is happening here, anomalous sign-in activity in the multiple component, and different let's say, so they are doing some mass download in there and all that kind of thing. So all this will be happening, and you can investigate these things over there itself, right? So this kind of the things you can do and play around. And after this, again, it will be talking about the last thing that it will be talking about is going to be your playbooks, means that automation part which I was telling you. So I'll be just giving you a bit of a glimpse of what is that logic app. Okay, just a glimpse of that. So here, if you will be seeing, you are mapping these things. Go back to the Sentinel. Okay, yeah, we can see incident is now generated. So hopefully before I can end the session, it starts showing you this incident. This is that incident part. Okay, security event. One alert has been generated for this VM, right? So again, like you can assign it to particular user. Okay, that is in there. You can change its status. It is active, close, what it is, new, active, close. What is its, if you want to change its severity level, you can change that as well. Now this is alert, and you want to get the full detail, you can be getting the full detail over here. It will be giving you the timeline, alert, bookmark, entry, comments, right? If let's say that different SOC analysts are typing anything, right, giving their comments over here that what happened. So they can write their own comments that what happened at what particular part, what is their analysis about this event over here. So here you can see the whole event, its timeline, at what time it happened, severity, status, all the detail here, alert that is generated, if you want to bookmark it, which entity was affected, these two, right? Comments, you want to write a comment, you can write it here as well, right? You can have the different action that you can take, create a automation rules, create a team rule for such kind of scenario. You can investigate this one, that map. So right now it is only related to the one VM, that's why you are getting things like this, right? So in that incident, what is getting affected. So this is your bit of the incident and all that kind of thing. And now to create that automation part, what we have to actually create, we have to use a logic app. Okay, so you will be using this logic app, right? So in here, what we are going to do is, we are again, if you are familiar with how to create resources in Azure, you will be going here, selecting, and we'll be going with the standard one, giving with the name, consumption based one. We'll be creating simple things, right? And creating this resource. And this resource, how it will look like it was giving that if else conditions. So once you will be creating this resource, it will be having all things like if, first thing, if your Azure Sentinel has triggered this rule based on the triggering, where it trigger coming from, your Azure Sentinel alerts, right? Then, actually you will be connecting this will be a separate entity. Logic apps, which we are calling it playbook, these are going to be a separate entity, and with each rule that you are creating, you can assign the different logic app, right? So I'll be creating, it is just like, picking up a blank sheet and adding the, keep clicking on that addition button what you want. Like, if this thing happen, let's say that I don't want to do anything. I don't want to deallocate VM, stop VM, restart VM, refresh VM, change its, IP address so that, you can change the IP address, stop, start. No, I don't want to. If I want to do such kind of thing, I can do this thing. But if not, I can simply say that, start collecting all those logs into a storage account for the investigation and generate an alert. So that kind of thing you can easily go ahead and perform over here. So that is going to be the one of the part that what you can do. You can generate those alerts saying that, okay, these alerts should be there in first place and I should be alerted about these things. So these kind of the automation task you can apply over the your whole or whole rule, right? Like for this single rule, once I will be creating this logic app, even already in advance I have created my rule. If this is ready, I can go ahead and in the rule template, okay, there is this rule, there is these rules. I can go ahead and even once they are running later as well, I can edit this rule and add that into this automation part. Simply go to this automated part, and here, because there are no logic app I have created, that's why it is not showing me any playbook. If I would have created one, it will be showing me and I'll be adding it here and save it there in this row, and it will be simply going ahead and giving us the or performing that particular event at that particular time itself, right? So this is the bit about that whole scenario of getting the your okay, and look like it will keep giving me these incidents alerts at that time. Why? Because it is running in the each 5 minutes of time, and it is running after each 5 minutes. Okay, that's fine with me. But if it is going on and if it is keep looking in the last 1 day data, so every time in 5 minutes it is going to generate one alert for me, because in the query I was not useful. So if in each 5 minutes it is looking into the data, so in each 5 minutes it should be looking on the last 5 minutes data. So that is the place where I messed up. So first of all, let me just select this rule and let me just delete this rule, else it will keep giving me the alert. Okay, so selected rule has been removed from here, and that's good, right? So this is a bit regarding that adding your investigating, having those playbook, you can perform the SOAR operation here, right? Security, orchestration, automation, and response, which is SOAR, performing the automation in there. So I can do this thing with the help of that logic app. It will be creating a playbook. So anytime, let's just say simple one case scenario which I love and I show in my sessions is, I go ahead, I have a VM that someone cleared the log in this one, right? So it trigger the Sentinel alert. Okay, Sentinel alert. So it will trigger this playbook. Now this playbook will go ahead and see that which VM it is. Okay, it will find that, okay, this VM is, this is the VM where this event happened. So just simply deallocate it, right? Deallocate it, remove it from the, don't make it active. So if it is stopped deallocated, no one can go ahead and take advantage of this thing, right? So this is something that we can do with the help of the playbook. And like this is, as you can see, logic app designer, as I was saying, we have to create logic app. So alert name, which is generating, what is your attack resource, what is the attack severity, if attack severity is this, time generated description, what kind of thing you want. So it is just telling you that if a security alert is triggered, send an email, that's it. And in email, these things should be part of that email, right? So this is something that you can do. That is going to be there. Send me the email and that's it, right? So this is the automation part. This was the last topic for the day and for this bootcamp as well. Just giving you in this bootcamp, our motive was just to get you guys familiar with your Sentinel, giving you the very basic idea regarding the Sentinel, what it is, what option it has, how, a bit, I think you guys get a bit of the idea how to connect, run, those kind of things that is there in your Azure Sentinel. So this is it from our side. And if you want to learn more Sentinel, know about any other Azure based related queries, questions you have, you want to learn some security courses, you can visit our website. You can see that what courses we are offering. So for now, thank you for joining us.